Bob Ross here, and October is a great month for VR video games. It makes me really happy. It's like VR games are growing on a bunch of little happy trees. Now, just to warn you, it'll look like dog at first, but we'll get her there, okay? Just have patience, don't overdo it. And with that final brush stroke, you have happy VR games in a happy trees. And you've just created something natural, something free.
So first off, we have the classic Bubble Pop game that has made its transition to the VR platform, which is kind of cool. You know, it's a classic game. I used to play the Super Nintendo version of Bubble Pop, and they're fun games. They're very simplistic in nature, and having the game in VR brings a new realm of dimension to a game that's kind of been lost in, time, essentially. Bubble Pop 3D is going to be available October 5th on the PSVR platform, so that'll be really exciting for people who are into like lighthearted puzzle games or just, simple and fun, addicting games. But if you're a horror buff like me and you love October for its scariness and its Halloween antics, you have Wraith The Afterlife coming out on October 7th on PSVR. This is the first time it's going to be on PSVR. It's already been on the PC VR and Oculus Quest for a while now, and it's really exciting to see that the PSVR is still getting games and still getting supported. So super exciting for horror fans on the PSVR platform. And then on Halloween Day, October 31st, we have a PSVR exclusive game launching called Do Not Open. So the developers of Do Not Open describe the game as a mix of survival horror and escape room type games because there is a number of puzzles, and they also say that it has a high level of replayability due to the fact that the puzzles, riddles, and all challenges actually change between playthrough to playthrough. Very interesting, super excited. Kind of confused though because it says Do Not Open and I didn't see him open anything in that freaking trailer. Song in the Smoke immerses players in a mysterious prehistoric world full of strange beasts where they must craft, forage, hunt, and fight to survive. So, Song in the Smoke looks like a very artistic and visually stunning and different type of survival game, and I'm very eager to play. I'm a pretty big fan of dungeon crawlers, and I love games like Crystal Rift. Even though it's an early rendition of a VR game, it was really awesome. It had some spooky moments, and I just love kind of delving and exploring into like these ancient abandoned mines and dungeons, and seeing what you explore and find there. So to have a game like Shadowgate, which is a very old school point and click adventure slash dungeon crawling-esque game, it seems really interesting to bring into the VR landscape, and something that I'm very excited to check out and experience on October 7th. Also coming out on October 7th for the Oculus Quest 2 is another port of a Steam VR game called Loco Dojo, which basically looks like a Mario Party game set in VR with kind of a more Asian style theme. It is a board game with mini games, so really if you're into Mario Party and those types of games, it sounds like it'll be right up your alley. I love mini games, so yeah. Unplugged Air Guitar comes out on October 21st, and it is kind of an interesting concept. It essentially takes the experimental feature of the Oculus Quest 2's hand tracking and allows you to play air guitar while jamming out to some of songs that you may or may not enjoy. And this is actually one of the reasons why I'm probably going to hold off on this experience, because the song track list has been revealed. It has 24 songs, and most of them are just not my cup of tea, I guess I would say. Now, that being said, it's not that it looks like a bad game, it just may not be for everyone due to the track list. And the final nail in the coffin for me personally is the fact that it comes out on October 21st, and that brings us to Resident Evil 4 VR. As you can see right here, I am inspired heavily by Resident Evil as a franchise and as a motif for my channel. I love Resident Evil. It is one of the earliest gaming memories I have, watching my cousins play Resident Evil 3 Nemesis on PS1 back in the way early 2000s, probably or 1999 it might have even been. It was a long time ago now. I feel pretty old at this point, even though I'm not that old. But anyways, I digress. some of my earliest memories come from that. Some of my earliest times, you know, spending the night at one of my best friend's house, you know, was playing Resident Evil 4 till way late at night, staying up way too late playing it, sleeping in, waking up, playing more Resident Evil 4, you know, doing Mercenaries mode. And so I'm really excited for Resident Evil 4 VR. Not to mention, when I first bought VR, the PlayStation VR, I bought it specifically so I could play Resident Evil 7 in VR, and that was one of the most amazing experiences I've still had to this day in VR. Resident Evil is an amazing franchise. If you've never played Resident Evil 4 and you have an Oculus Quest 2, you literally, if there's one game that you need to buy this month, it is Resident Evil 4 VR. And I'm going to tell you, if you think that you're scared of Resident Evil games, or you're just scared of, you know, like horror games, Resident Evil 4 really isn't all that scary, and it does, I mean, it has its scary moments, but it's not really that scary. It's much more of a kind of B horror movie, I would say. There's some gore and macabre moments, but it is not a horrifying experience. Now, in VR, maybe the regenerators might be a little on the freaky side, but still, nonetheless, I would highly recommend it. In my opinion, it's much more of an action-based game, and originally, you know, it was a third-person game, so I think a first-person perspective, being able to get in the experience, is going to just drastically change it for those of us who've played it on just about every platform. You know, it's basically had a competition with Skyrim for the most re-releases of a video game in the last 20 years. I mean, it's insane how many times this has been released onto different platforms. But needless to say, I'm going to buy it one more time.
And for PC VR, we actually have two titles coming out this month. The first of which is Lone Echo 2, the much-awaited sequel to Lone Echo 1. And it's Ready at Dawn's premier VR titles that have really good graphics and some mind-bending puzzles and story behind it. Pretty exciting to finally get a release date on this. We've been waiting quite a while.
Lone Echo 2 comes out exclusively on the Oculus Store on October 12th, so be sure to check it out. Then on October 14th, we have Eye of the Temple, which is a VR game that uses room scale, so you will need a little bit of space, but it uses it in a very interesting way, and it's to explore a large temple with lots of different traps and Indiana Jones style antics. Now, the cool thing is that this has had a good level of love poured into it because it's been 5 years in development. And the fact that the developers have spent 5 years in development on this game, I really think we should pay it forward to people who love and pour their lives, or large portions of their lives, into VR and VR development. So be sure to check this out. It comes out on October 14th, and I'm sure the developers would love the support from the passionate VR community out there. So the month of October is obviously quite packed with a large variety of games, from, you know, puzzlers to action to horror. I mean, we got a wide variety in this month, and it's going to be a great month to own VR headsets.
Now please, remember to subscribe to Virtual Residence. He's a real cool fella. That's why I decided to show up as a guest on the show. I'm passionate about VR too. And please do remember to drop a little happy thumbs up on the video and comment down below which of these little happy VR games will make you happy to play this month of October. Thank you, and I'll see you in another video. Now, just to warn you, it'll look like dog crap at first, but we'll get her there, okay? Just have patience, don't overdo it. Bet you thought I swore right there. I didn't.